Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to a guide video for week 2 of the Sugar Crash Quest. We've put together a spreadsheet which is linked to in the description down below. You might have noticed it if you've been following the spreadsheet update. It is now in its well, I don't know actually what version it is, but we're uploading loads of versions and putting it out. And of course, we're going to do week 3, 4, and 5, and also some other things as well. I'm a bit behind, and that's just because I've just had a lot of work on, so it's just been difficult to get this 100% completed. But hopefully by the end of this week, it will be done and dusted and helpful to everybody, especially because it's a busy old time. We've got Act 8.3 next week. We have got Battleground Brawl. We've got New York Comic Con announcements. We've got the Carinas Trials. Battlegrounds is just finished. We'll probably have Battlegrounds new season information coming soon. You name it. There's tons of things. And I can imagine there's more to kind of like come up very, very soon. So, yeah, we've got a guide going over the various paths, using the Summon Symbiote, using some of the best boosts to take on the situations, because there are some situations that will really mean that you'll have to dip into your first week of boosts. So yeah, check out the link in the description, and we're going to be going over this right here. Some new boosts have been added in. It's a bit confusing as well because we've got two kind of poison looking boosts. One is basically like an assassin type one, and the other one is an SP2, does poisons, bleeds, and shocks and stuff. So the kind of difference with those particular boosts is that if you go to other and you go down to in for the kill, it's like, unless you notice the percentage change, it's like it confused me, because I was about to kind of like refer to it as being that one being helpful for something. But I mean, it is helpful. It's just a case of like, well, just if you want to use it on the path. I guess one of the main things to point out with this is like you can put on your boost and do a 15-minute session just blasting through this. And I would say if you've got a rank 5 version of the Summon Symbiote, it's going to be a lot more easier, and you'll be able to blast for it, you know, with ease. But of course we're doing a guide because, you know, there's 5 weeks of it. So let's kind of look over some of the best options boost wise, and what is best to kind of like rotate, because there's going to be different standards as to how you look to take on certain things. So let's get into it, shall we? So here's the quest right here. Of course, I've 100%ed it, which is great. And look, when you've done some of the paths, or even some of the fights, you'll get boosts appear. You can either have the option of waiting and going to the likes of the calendar, which, as like you know, it's just a case of like, it's just time, isn't it? Like, do you want to wait? Do you not want to wait? It's up to you, right? This day 1 of 7 days worth of calendar boosts starts today, where you get some of the boosts that are mainly attributed, not 100%, but mostly attributed to the new rotation of quests. I'm just actually looking here because I think this is another purge. Yeah, so you get purge going into week 2. There's some overlap. There's some new boosts going into like some of the other months, but there is a bit of overlap on stuff. There is uniqueness somewhere, but some places, but there are elements of overlap. And I would say there's going to be some boosts that I can imagine that if you've got week 1, you might want to use in week 3. So don't overuse your boosts, and kind of use them in a way that if you, as I said, do a session, you've popped all of them on, and you can benefit from them in the just in the grind. So some of the new boosts that are available, I would say Cracking Blow is amongst one of the best, but also because here's the thing, like newsflash, there's armor up that is going to appear in, I'd say, 2 paths and boss consistently in the shape and form of Howard the Duck. Okay, so the first path we'll go over now. There's nothing really to worry about, like there is not. And as I said, if you want to use this as a jumping off point, then do it. Jumping off point being that if you want to pop on all your boosts, go and test it out in this particular path. Utilize a purge to remove, or purge boost in order to remove Groot's buffs. The same thing with X23, but to be honest, I don't think you have to worry about it. I really don't. It's only when things come into path 2. But if you are struggling with the end boss, use Cracking Blow. If you're finding it easy, then save the boost for later on down the line. Path 2 is when things become a little bit more interesting because it's got bleed vulnerability. So for bleed vulnerability means that do bleeds, they do more damage. Of course they do. So what would be best for this particular path? Well, if you want to, again, boost them up, you can use other kind of like elements of coverage. Like, okay, well, I want to intercept and get a stun. That's brilliant. Well, the boost that you want to do in order to do that is going to be Paralyze. Use the Paralyze boost, that one there. Because when you intercept, you're going to throw on a stun. It allows you to be more aggressive and also put in bleeds more frequently. If you want to use as well, get to an SP2, then you've got Vicious Assault. Vicious Assault puts on another bleed effect. That can be handy. And of course, there's other ones. It's not just that. You could just put on whatever. You can reduce any ability accuracy of Blade with Unknown Enemy. There's so many options of rotation. You've got full health at the time. Use Hardened Coating. So your block proficiency is very, very good. That could be a good option for you. Maybe or maybe not. But Cut Deep is one of the go-to ones I recommend for this path. You keep your bleeds on longer. So maybe do that. That's path 2. Now we're coming into the business end now. Path 3. Path 3 has some tricky things on it. And I would say that when you get to the likes of the Punisher, you may look to have on certain boosts like Paralyze in order to keep that stun on. You may want to have the Indestructible on. You may want to have the block proficiency on. But I think the main thing is all about dealing with the Armored Assault and the other elements of defensive transference. What are the other elements? Armor buffs. You want to make sure that they're suppressed. This is where Cracking Blow comes into play. This path, the next path, and the boss. Because you want to take down the armor. You want to suppress it. We don't want any armor to appear. So by having the likes of Purge, which if you, by the way, as I said, if you want an infographic for this, or you want to look at like this, and this is basically it. But go and check out the link in the description if you don't want to hear me rabbiting on. These are just my notes, which are in the Google Drive spreadsheet. But yes, to the point. Going back to the point even. Under this, we've got ourselves Paralyze. Get that stun on. Great. If you can intercept, fantastic. If you're not one for intercepting or not very good with your intercepts, then I would say you're going to have to find a way to get to an SP1 sooner rather than later. As soon as you do get to an SP1, you're able to throw Cracking Blow. Cracking Blow will allow you to remove that armor up buff, therefore taking away the armor, therefore taking away the ability to be unblockable. And once you've done that, you can then be as aggressive as possible with that one. I would welcome and recommend you to also put on where is it? Unknown Enemy. Oh, it took me a while to find it there. It's Unknown Enemy that you need. Mainly because it has got ability accuracy reduction on it, which can be helpful against Punisher, and especially in situations where you're like, oh, is this champion going to intercede? Is it going to be annoying? But also Matador as well, I would say, and I'm probably going to change something on this video as well, just on the spreadsheet. Cleanse may be something better, mainly because you want to drain Punisher's power. What happens when Punisher has his power drained? He's not going to hit you. What is going to happen when he hits you? He's going to do projectiles. So if he's unblockable and for whatever reason you don't have an SP1, you aren't able to deal with that armor up buff, then you're going to need Cleanse to deal with Punisher. That's one of the things I would recommend the most with it. I'm actually going to have to make a quick note because I was just like, no, you've got to use that. It's just so that you don't get slapped by just so you don't get slapped by an SP1 or the whilst he's unblockable, because it will be painful for you. In any case, going into the final path, and that will be we'll talk about the boss in a second. That will be Darkhawk, and then it will be Icarus. Now, I would say with Darkhawk, you will need, or hopefully you will still have that Unknown Enemy up, which allow you to suppress the champion, especially handy going into some of the fights on this particular path as well. So suppress their ability extra reduction, which is going to be helpful. And then it's just going to be a case of just smacking the champion as much as possible. If there's any armor ups, then you can deal with that. Same method, because we've got Explosive Personality. Rich get richer. I would say get buffs as much as possible by putting on all those boosts. You're able to get some elements of buffs which are going to be helpful to you. You can put on other boosts if you want. Icarus will require a bit of a different rotation approach, especially if you're looking to take away the buffs of the champion. So do bear in mind to have, as we said, we've got to deal with the power side of things the champion has, and he will have energize. And even though that you will look to deal with that one, cleanse is going to be very, very helpful. Holding down for a block, draining the defender's power is going to be magic, and that's going to be great for you to use. But also look to purge. Purge will allow you to deal with those energized buffs, throw special attacks regularly in order to deal with that detonation, and you should be fine. Same principle for Civil Warrior in how you approach that, and just try to remove those buffs as best you can. If not, actually, no, it's the Cracking Blow. Throw those SP1s, you should be good. And then with the final boss, similar principle as we've discussed, keep the champion to SP1, and then it's a case of doing the parry heavies, removing buffs. It's just a case of SP1 rotation with Cracking Blow, and use any other boost that may be active. But there we go. Go and check out the guide in the link in the description. And I hope this video helped out if you are struggling. I don't think people will do, but I appreciate any support on this. So hit the like button and thank you. We'll be working on some other kind of really cool content for tomorrow, which I'm going to get on with now, and have a look on the forum, see if we've got any news or information to go over. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. And check out some other content located on screen, and should be a big old spicy week of stuff to cover. More on that very, very soon. Much love, everybody. Bye-bye.